exactly in the situation which is today's, where our very existence is under threat. First, we have global warming. One cannot even imagine how we will all be affected 10, 20 years from now. We will have other pandemics. We have social problems even in developed countries. At this point, war returned. War which precisely prevents what we need, a global cooperation to deal with global warming. Just think what is clearly happening. Even if there will be no further big wars, if a compromise will be found in Ukraine, there will be refugees because of global warming. New deserts are forming and so on and so on. So where will millions of people go? In the old time, this was decided by wars. Today, because many states have atomic weapons, chemical weapons, and so on, we cannot afford this. Cooperation is a matter of survival. So let me give you an interpretation of what is going on today. I think that the mistake of Ukrainians who think they are defending Europe is that they don't see that what they call Europe, the European civilization, is in itself in a deep crisis. Remember, protests like Yellow Vests in France, Podemos in Spain and other places, these were not protests which articulated a desire to be more European. These were signs of a crisis of the existing European civilization itself. I think that if, or let's hope when, Ukraine wins, then they will confront the real problem, which is what kind of Europe do they want to join? Do they want this new fundamentalist Europe, neoconservative Europe, which excludes immigrants and so on, or do they want what really is the best in Europe? Feminism, human rights, social democratic tradition, welfare state, and so on and so on. So again, now I come to my really, please listen to this really crucial point. The tragedy of the ongoing war is for me that it's not the moment of truth in the sense of now we were fighting wrong battles, who cares today about feminism, global warming, all this is forgotten, now we have the real conflict there, Europe or Russia. No, this war is in some sense the deepest lie, because true long-term problems disappeared. You know where you can feel this or see this clearly? Something which really made me sad happened recently among European conservatives. Till now, they had some understanding for Putin. Some of them even said, yeah, we understand Putin, he has his own right on his side. As you probably remember, Donald Trump openly first praised Putin. But now, even the extreme right in Europe militarized itself, but with an implicit argumentation, which I find terrifying. The logic is this one. This war finally enables us to get rid of all the pseudo-problems. Global warming, sexual oppression, feminism, and so on. Now the situation is real war. Neoconservatives follow Dugin and European conservatives for whom war is the only true ethical moment. In war, you make the basic choice, you do what is needed to do. And it's incredible how neoconservatives celebrate what is going on in Ukraine now, where they claim the proper sexual difference is again established. They say, forget about transgender and so on. Now, sexual roles are again affirmed. Women escape Ukraine with children to do in safety their proper job, which is, of course, raising children and so on, while men even return to Ukraine fighting. This is the real conflict. And that's, for me, again, the tragedy of this war. Exactly the wrong interpretation is prevailing. Against this, we should, I think, adopt some very sad insight. The first one is that, again, this is not just a war between Russia and the West or whatever. This is a war for a new world order. What will be the new world order? And the Russian project is clear. That's why they don't even call the attack on Ukraine war. For them, this is limited intervention into their own sphere. What they want is global peace, but peace in the sense in which each country, big country, is allowed to maintain peace within its sphere of influence to what the Russians call peaceful, limited military operation. The vision of Russia is that. Why? This is what Putin says again and again. I don't get it. Why doesn't life go on? Putin is all the time saying we still deliver oil to the West. Their vision is, as I call it, not Cold War, but hot peace. Global peace where there are always local wars here and there which maintain peace. And this, I think, is the catastrophe that we should avoid at any point. Something like new non-alignment is needed. By this, I mean we should not just say we protect the European way of life in Ukraine. No, our struggle there, when we support Ukraine, is a global struggle. A global struggle for a certain notion of liberty, which includes, again, welfare state, feminist human rights, feminism, human rights, and all that is progressive in European legacy. What Russia and China, unfortunately, more and more stand for, including some European conservatives who join them, is a type of multiculturalism which is very dangerous, which is peaceful coexistence of, as they say, different ways of life. The message of Putin repeatedly to the West is, let's coexist. You have countries where you do your own stupidities. You allow gay marriages and so on, all that. There are other countries, Arab countries, where you can do clitoridectomy, beat women, whatever. Why don't we all peacefully exist together? So it's a version of global market, but between countries, each of which has its own way of life. I think the new non-alignment should mean non-alignment in the sense that we are not aligned to a specific way of life. I don't like when Ukrainians are saying, but we belong to you, we are white people like you should support us. No, I don't care about that. White Europeans also can do horrible things. should we forget that Nazism was done by Germans, by the nation which embodies the highest European culture? So I'm for globalism, for universal struggle, but again, the universalism, which is universalism of a shared struggle. We should not isolate Russia today. We should establish all connections possible with maybe the true heroes of this war. Russians who risked their lives and dare to protest in all possible way against Putin's war. And we should do the same in our own countries. This is the solidarity we should strive for. So I think that that's crucial to say. Our message to Russians who protest against the war in Ukraine is not, oh, thanks that you are not patriots, you are universalists. No, they are the true patriots. A true patriot, that's for me the best definition I can imagine. A true patriot, the one who truly loves his country, is a person who is ashamed of his own countries when his country is doing something wrong. That's the difficult thing to do today. I think that there is no more disgusting slogan than the well-known saying, my country, right or wrong. If you say this, you are not a true patriot. And now, to conclude, I'm coming back to freedom. The first act of freedom is to be able to resist your own country when it goes wrong. That's why patriotism and freedom are not opposed. If patriotism is a true patriotism. For example, my Israeli friends they oppose terrorism, but they understand the difficult plight of Palestinians in the West Bank. They are, for me, the true inheritors of the great Jewish legacy. That's what we should be able to do. This is where true patriotism is not opposed to internationalism. You can be a true patriot and an internationalist. And if you are ready to be ashamed of your own country, this is the first step towards freedom today. Today, you cannot be really free without being at least a little bit ashamed of your own country. Thank you very much for your patience, for watching The Great Minds, and although I have some doubts if I am really among the great minds, I hope at least that I perplexed you a little bit. I didn't want to bring you clear answers so that you can say, okay, now we know it, let's go to sleep. I want to disorient you, to make you think. If I succeeded in this, even if you don't agree with me, I think I achieved what I wanted. So it was an honor for me. Thank you very much.